Welcome to Michigan Replay. The Wolverines 3-1 on the season after their victory over California, a victory which I imagine must satisfy you, Coach.
Yeah, it really did, Larry, because that was a pretty tough ball game in that first half, and things didn't look very good. But our team at halftime got the big break in the second half kickoff, and we got back in the game and then won it. So I think it's going to help our team a lot.
You had confidence and faith in that defense at the half.
I did. As a matter of fact, I said to the team, if we get 2 touchdowns, we'll win the game. And the fact that California, the first half, never turned the ball over to us, and that we were due to get 1 or 2, and we got it right on the second half kickoff.
A successful trip to California for Michigan. Some people think that doesn't happen very often.
It's happened every time we've gone out there during the season. The only time it doesn't happen is in the Rose Bowl.
Well, it didn't look good when things got started today, however, as you had a punt blocked on you that really put Michigan in trouble.
Yeah, that's a bad one. We made a terrible mistake here, and this is in our second possession. We were forced to punt, and they get the ball around the 25-yard line, and he goes back to pass here, and Kurt Greer almost had him here, and he threw over the middle and got a key reception. And we had a busted coverage on this play. You see the motion guy here, and we're following him here. Here's a safety blitz with Harden coming. We have no man on that slot man and man-to-man coverage. And see, we almost get to him, but he gets the ball out, and there's absolutely no one covering him.
Anderson quickly figuring out that man would be alone.
Well, I don't know whether he figured it out or not, but it was pretty obvious that once the motion started, we followed him across rather than picking up the next guy inside. Here's a touchdown that we scored that the officials called back on us, and to me, I think it was an erroneous call. They bumped Ralph out of bounds, and the official called Ralph for running out on his own. And here's the attempted field goal. We went 0 for 5 on field goals, Larry. Went for the horse collar, and that's not very good. Here we are punting again. The kicking game was not good. The block punt and the missed field goals, and we had 1 short punt that helped them as well.
That was a 26-yarder.
That was a 26-yarder there. Campbell throwing well here. He split the 2 deep zone, and we had a guy on the outside and a man deep, and he got right in the middle, and their left-footed kicker split the uprights, and right now they're ahead 10-0, and things really do not look very good for us. Here's Johnny Wangler on the bootleg pass, faking and then finally throwing out here on a great catch by Doug Marsh on the bootleg, and he just was able to stay in bounds, and that was a great reception. Wangler back to pass again. He's rolling out here and runs for a first down and gets out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. John started for us. You know, B.J. Dickey was unable to play. We were stopped here, attempted a field goal. It was wide to the left, and we missed again.
Close, but not close enough.
Well, that's one of those things, I guess. Here's the third quarter kickoff. Paul Geargage, freshman linebacker, breaks through here and hits him, and he fumbles the ball. Mike Harden recovers for us on the 9-yard line, and it took us 2 plays to go in, and that was really a shot in the arm for us to start the second half. This is Stanley Edwards bullying his way in for the touchdown, and kick the extra point, 10-7, and feel real good at this time that we're back in the game. Here's Wangler going down the middle. They were in what we call a robber coverage with the safety up tight, and Doug ran right by him down the middle, and that was a very key play because it was a long yardage situation. Swing the ball out here to Stanley Edwards, and we get some good blocking. They were in what we call a knockdown defense, meaning the end was coming hard, and he just laid the ball out over his head. This is the bootleg again, and this is a tough pass to work on, but we've done a good job in practice.
Good concentration.
Reed to Betts, and then Reed goes in for the touchdown, and we kick the extra point. We're ahead 14-10, and this is still in the third period. We had opportunities to put the game away and couldn't quite do it, Larry, in the fourth period. Here Anderson is in a quarterback now for California, and we sacked him. We had quite a few sacks. Our defense ended up holding them minus yardage. Back to throw again. He throws right over the middle, a great pass and a great reception. Right here, he stripped of the ball, and we recovered, rolled right up his back there, and we jumped in there and recovered the ball.
Got to get on that in a hurry before he grabs it back.
Right. Yeah. They finally gave us 3 fumbles in the second half, and those were the only turnovers we got from them. We had a lot of mistakes. I don't know what happened on this one, but John throws over the middle to Anthony Carter, and they call us for an illegal formation, and seems like every big game, we must have lost 100 yards and a touchdown in penalties. In other words, plays that gained that much yardage, and then they were called back. It is quite upsetting, you know, when that happens. Seems like it always happens on the West Coast.
You got a penalty for that one, too, set you back even further.
I was hoping you didn't bring that up. Marsh almost breaks away here, but they finally catch him from behind. That was a long yardage situation again on third down, deep in our own territory after those penalties. And, you know, that was the same play that he caught before down the middle that I was telling you about. Here we attempt the field goal. This is probably our poorest shot of it, and we miss again on the left. I don't think they have these goalposts wide enough anymore. You know, Larry, they seem to be so narrow.
You're going to advocate wider posts.
Wider goalposts. I think now we're getting in late in the game. Here's Campbell coming back, and he throws out here. We almost intercepted that ball, and Jones, their fine back, catches out of the backfield and picks up valuable yardage. Campbell is a big, strong, powerful quarterback. Here's a great play by Gerald Diggs. We're man underneath coverage on most of these plays, and you got to get right on these guys, otherwise he'll just pick you to death with that throwing arm. Here he throws over the middle, and Canavino makes the tackle short of the first down, and we run out the clock and win the game 14-10. It was a great comeback for us, Larry, and California's a fine team, no question about it, and they proved it out there Saturday, but fortunately we were able to come back and win it.
Two other things we ought to cover. One is that your offense was hit by the flu. That cost you B.J. Dickey and some other players.
Well, it really hurt us because we had five, particularly our interior line, Becker, Arbesnik, and Loja, and we had to pull most of them in the second half because they just couldn't go anymore. And there's no question, we've been hit a dozen, 15 players this past week with the flu. It really hurt, but BJ came down right the night before the game and got up the next morning, and he could hardly walk, and there was no chance for him to play.
And the other thing you pointed out when you looked at the highlights before we air this program, and that is that it looked like it was a passing game for Michigan, and yet your running game was very instrumental in the win.
I thought the runs of Stanley Edwards and Butch Woolfolk kept us in the game. They kept possession. We possessed the ball approximately 15 minutes more than they did, and got us field position. They were very, very instrumental. Although our running game probably didn't show much more than 200 yards, it was very, very key. Particularly Woolfolk had some really tough runs, plays that weren't blocked real well, and he'd come out the other end and pick up a first down with just some good hard running. So we were pleased with that.
And that is part of what you want to do, keep the ball away from a good quarterback like that. Like
well,
California.
If you don't possess the ball in California, you know, you give it to them often enough, they're going to hit them.
All right, Michigan 3-1 now on the season. Another game we can talk about that's coming up on Saturday. But first, let's backtrack to the game that happened in Ann Arbor on Saturday, and we will do that next on Michigan Replay.